That's how I felt in control. And that quickly led to a decline in health. But as a teenager, when all you want to do is hang out with your friends, it didn't matter how I felt. As long as I didn't have to be hooked up to that machine for hours on end or take medication, I was fine. So I hit it. Mom finally caught on after I started declining pretty well. And she tried everything she knew, and nothing worked. I would still hide it. Unless she caught me for days on end not doing a treatment and sitting me down and watching me do one, I didn't do it. So, needless to say, I got pretty sick. When I was 17 years old, I was told by my doctor that I needed to go get evaluated for a double lung transplant. At that time, my PFTs were at 30%. For those of y'all that don't have anybody with CF related to you, your pulmonary functions, they are the measure of how the doctors decide how you're doing. Most people's are about 100%. So when I say my lung functions were at 30%, they're pretty bad. I couldn't breathe, I struggled to do normal everyday tasks. So they sent me to Nashville to be evaluated for a double lung transplant. And I got the devastating news that I was not eligible due to the medication that you had to be on after the transplant. I was allergic to it. So they deemed that that I wasn't eligible. Well, we didn't want to accept that news. So there was another transplant team in St. Louis that we went to see. And they gave me the same news. So at 17 years old, my doctor told me that I had 1 year left to live. I hadn't even graduated high school at this point. I was missing so much school in my junior and senior year that I missed almost all of it. I didn't have very many friends, and the friends that I did have were pretty close because, let's face it, you don't want to have the sick kid as your friend in school. So whenever I had no future is how I felt. But I went ahead and graduated high school. As soon as I had no curfew, guess what? I started rebelling again. So at 19, I started going out and partying pretty heavy, drinking all the time, being at parties where they were smoking. I didn't care. There were days on end I wouldn't do a treatment again, and I was in a low-riding club at that time. So I was going to car shows state to state, the parties, everything that comes with the car shows, that's what I was doing. As a CF patient, that's not what I should have been doing, but I wanted to feel normal. And I pushed almost everybody away at that point except for the car club guys. And, they really didn't care, whatever. But I made it to my 20th birthday. My lung functions never come back, so I was still at 30% at this point. On my 20th birthday, shortly after I lost my aunt, completely unexpectedly. We were extremely close, so that took a huge hit on me. And after that, I kind of realized how short life was. So I started taking better care of myself. But I had already damaged my lungs so bad that I was still in the 30s. When I was 23, things got really bad. I started getting sick a lot more, and when I was sick, I was extremely sick. My mom had gotten so worried about me at this point that she installed a monitor in my room. And I'm glad she did because that monitor got used. One of the scariest times that I had was one night shortly after I went to bed. I felt a cough coming on, and I could tell at this point that something was different about that cough. It just felt and tasted different. As gross as that sounds, us CF patients, we have a taste. And I knew it was different. And it was continuous. It wasn't just one cough, it wasn't two, it was continuous. And so she